April 30th, 1945. 50 feet underground in Berlin. The air was thick with smoke and the smell of gasoline. Adolf Hitler's body was burning in a shell crater above the bunker entrance. Soviet soldiers were 2 blocks away. You could hear their tank engines rumbling through the streets. Artillery shells were hitting the Reich Chancellery every few minutes. Inside the concrete tomb below, Nazi officers were burning documents, smashing radios, and preparing cyanide capsules. Some were crying. Others sat in complete silence, staring at walls covered in maps that no longer mattered. The 1,000-year Reich was ending in a basement, and everyone knew it. This was the Führerbunker, Hitler's last headquarters, his final command center, and in just a few hours, it would fall silent forever. The question nobody was asking then, the question that would haunt Germany for decades, was simple. What do you do with the place where evil died? The bunker had been Hitler's prison for the last 4 months of his life. He'd moved underground in January 1945 as Soviet artillery started hitting the streets above. The complex was absolutely massive. 30 rooms spread across 2 levels deep beneath the Reich Chancellery. 18 separate bunks for guards and staff. A large conference room where Hitler held his final military briefings. Private quarters for Hitler and Eva Braun. A small operating room for emergency medical procedures. Even a tiny kennel for Hitler's German Shepherd. The walls were 6 feet of solid reinforced concrete. Steel doors at every entrance. Air filtration systems. Independent power generators. Nothing could touch him down there. The bunker could survive a direct hit from the biggest bombs the Allies had. It was supposed to be the safest place in Germany. But Hitler was already dead inside long before he pulled the trigger. His left hand shook constantly from Parkinson's disease. His eyes were vacant and unfocused. He shuffled when he walked like an old man, even though he was only 56. The man who'd conquered most of Europe couldn't climb a single flight of stairs anymore without someone helping him. He was addicted to drugs his doctor gave him. His judgment was gone. His mind was breaking. On April 30th, around 3:30 in the afternoon, he shot himself in his study. Eva Braun took cyanide beside him. Their bodies were carried up the emergency exit stairs and burned in a bomb crater in the garden. The bunker's story should have ended right there with Hitler's ashes. And here's the thing. This story gets even more insane. If you're enjoying this, smash that subscribe button because we tell stories like this every single week. You won't regret it. Because what happened to Hitler's bunker after the war is absolutely crazy. The Soviets found it on May 2nd, 1945. They'd been searching for days, fighting through the ruins of Berlin street by street, building by building. When they finally broke through the Reich Chancellery gardens, they found the entrance half buried under rubble. Concrete stairs leading down into complete darkness. Dead bodies everywhere around the entrance. German soldiers who'd killed themselves rather than surrender. The smell was overwhelming. Smoke and death and gasoline. Soviet troops went in with flashlights and guns ready, expecting resistance. Maybe some Nazi holdouts are waiting to die fighting. The bunker was empty. Everyone had fled north toward American lines or killed themselves. But the Soviets found everything else. Hitler's personal desk with papers still on it. His couch where he'd sat for his last meetings. His paintings are still hanging on the walls. Bloodstains in his study where he'd died. Empty cyanide capsules scattered across the floor like candy. This was the nerve center of Nazi Germany, the place where the final solution was planned, and now it belonged to Stalin. The Soviets kept the bunker completely secret for months. They sealed the entrance with steel doors and concrete. Posted armed guards around the entire area. Let absolutely no one near it. Stalin himself gave the orders. He was paranoid that the bunker could become a shrine for Nazi sympathizers. He was right to worry. Even in ruins, even after total defeat and utter humiliation, Hitler's name still had power. Neo-Nazis would have crawled through miles of rubble to worship at that altar. They would have taken souvenirs, carved messages in the walls, made it a symbol of resistance. So the Soviets made a decision. They'd destroy it. Not just seal it up. Not just fill it with concrete. They wanted to completely erase it from existence. Make it like the bunker never existed at all. But here's the problem they discovered. You can't just blow up a bunker that's specifically built to survive bombs. The Führerbunker was designed to take direct hits from the heaviest Allied artillery shells. Those 6-foot concrete walls weren't decorative. They weren't normal construction. This was military-grade reinforced concrete with steel rebar every few inches. The Soviets tried explosives first in 1947. They packed the rooms with charges and detonated them all at once. The walls cracked. The ceiling sagged in places. Chunks of concrete fell. But the basic structure held together. The bunker was still standing. They tried again with even more explosives. Bigger charges. More careful placement. They blew out some interior walls. Collapsed a few rooms. But the main structure refused to fall. Soviet engineers were genuinely stunned. The Germans had built the thing too well. Hitler's final fortress was refusing to die, just like the man himself had refused to surrender even when Berlin was burning around him. So the Soviets completely changed their tactics. If they couldn't destroy it, they'd bury it alive. Through 1947 and 1948, they filled the entire complex with debris. Broken concrete from bombed buildings. Twisted steel beams. Rubble from all over Berlin. They backed up trucks and dumped load after load down those stairs until the bunker was packed completely solid. You couldn't walk through it anymore. Couldn't even crawl. Then they sealed the entrance permanently and built over it. The site became a parking lot first. Then years later an apartment complex. The Soviets planted grass and trees all around the area. Put up a playground for children. Made it look like any other ordinary piece of East Berlin. No marker anywhere. No memorial. No sign or plaque. Nothing to indicate that anything significant had ever been there. The location became an official state secret. Maps of Berlin were deliberately altered to hide it. Records were destroyed or locked away. Soviet soldiers who'd been inside were ordered never to speak of what they'd seen. Anyone who asked questions was warned to stop asking. For 40 years, Hitler's bunker became a ghost story. People knew it existed somewhere under Berlin, but nobody knew exactly where. The secret leaked slowly over the decades. East German construction workers would sometimes break through into underground chambers while digging foundations for new buildings. They'd find concrete walls that shouldn't be there. Steel doors leading nowhere. Sometimes personal items that had somehow survived. Nazi uniforms. Plates with eagles on them. Documents. The East German government always shut down these sites immediately, filled them back in with concrete, threatened workers into silence. Sometimes workers disappeared for talking, but rumors spread anyway through East Berlin. By the 1980s, historians had narrowed down the location to within a few blocks. They couldn't prove it, couldn't access the site, but they knew they were close. Everything changed in 1989 when the Berlin Wall fell. Suddenly East Berlin was open to the world. Researchers could finally investigate freely. But here's what most people don't know. In 1988, just 1 year before the wall came down, East German construction crews had accidentally broken into the bunker while building apartments. They punched through a wall and found the upper level completely intact. Hitler's conference room was still there after 43 years. The walls still had their wooden paneling. You could see rectangular shadows where pictures had hung for years. Marks on the floor where furniture had Saturday. Light fixtures are still attached to the ceiling. It was like a time capsule. The discovery absolutely terrified the East German government. This was their worst nightmare. They ordered immediate destruction. Bulldozers moved in within days. They ripped out everything they could reach. Demolished the upper chambers completely. Filled them with tons of concrete. Then they built the apartment building right on top of it all and pretended nothing had ever happened. After German reunification in 1990, the new German government faced a very difficult choice. The bunker was still down there. Parts of it anyway. The lower level was definitely intact. Should they excavate it? Preserve it? Turn it into a museum or memorial? Or finish what the Soviets started and destroy it completely? The debate was incredibly intense and lasted for years. Historians desperately wanted access. They argued the bunker was crucial physical evidence of Nazi crimes. A genuine historical site. preserve it for education, for research, for making absolutely sure people never forget what happened. But many others argued the exact opposite. They said the bunker would inevitably become a Nazi pilgrimage site. Neo-Nazis from around the world would flock to it. They'd hold secret meetings there, take pictures, treat it like a shrine. You can't post guards there forever. You can't watch it every hour of every day. Better to erase it completely and remove the temptation. Germany chose erasure. It was a deliberate decision. Through the 1990s and 2000s, they systematically destroyed what remained accessible. Every single time construction happened in that area, workers would find another chamber and the government would demolish it. Fill it with concrete. Make it permanently inaccessible. In 2006, they finally marked the location publicly. Not with a memorial. Not with a museum. Not with anything grand. With a simple brown information board in a parking lot. It shows a basic diagram of the bunker's layout. Gives simple historical facts about what happened there. That's it. No ceremony. No commemoration. No flowers or candles allowed. Just information. The message is absolutely clear. This happened here. We're not hiding it from history, but we're absolutely not celebrating it either. Today, the site is completely ordinary. Apartment buildings stand where the Reich Chancellery Gardens used to be. A parking lot covers part of the bunker's footprint. A Chinese restaurant operates nearby. People live and work and eat directly above where Hitler spent his final days planning his own death. Most residents don't think about it daily. Some don't even know they're living above it. The bunker itself is essentially gone. The lower level still exists deep underground, but it's completely flooded, filled with groundwater and debris and 40 feet of concrete. Completely inaccessible to anyone. Even if someone wanted to dig it up, even if neo-Nazis tried, they'd have to demolish several apartment buildings and dig through 50 feet of concrete and rubble. Germany has made absolutely sure that's never going to happen. The cost alone would be millions of euros. The legal battles would take decades. It's not going to happen. And that's exactly the point Germany is making. Hitler wanted a 1,000-year Reich, an empire that would outlast Rome, a legacy that would echo through history forever. Instead, his final headquarters became a parking lot where people leave their cars. The rooms where he planned the Holocaust are buried under apartments where families eat dinner and kids do homework and people watch television. The bunker that was supposed to be his impregnable fortress became his tomb. And then it became nothing at all. Just empty space under the ground. Germany's message to the world is absolutely perfect. We remember the crimes in museums and memorials. We teach history in schools. We prosecute the guilty. But we give no shrine to the criminal himself. No place for his followers to gather. No altar for worship. Just a parking space and an information board. Here's your final number that should blow your mind. The Führerbunker cost millions of Reichsmarks to build. It took thousands of forced laborists working in terrible conditions to construct. Hitler spent exactly 105 days living inside it before he died. Today, you can't see a single brick of the original structure. Not one wall. Not one door. Nothing. The only thing marking one of the most significant locations in modern history is a parking space that anyone can use and an information board that probably cost about 50 euros to make and install. Thanks for watching. Next time, we're covering the incredible story of the Japanese soldier who kept fighting World War II until 1974. Yeah, you heard that right. 30 years after everyone else surrendered. He was hiding in the jungle thinking the war was still going. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. This is history that actually matters. Real stories. Real people. Real consequences. See you next time.